What's going on there, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, DICE came out and had a little bit of a discussion about aim assist within Battlefield 6, and I gotta be real with you guys. DICE is just knocking it out of the park with everything they mentioned about this game, seriously. They know exactly what they're doing, and I can't tell you how excited I am to see all of this implemented within the overall Battlefield experience. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post twice here, once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and a second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, gonna link that channel down in the description of this video. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, it's a pretty long post here, so I'm not going to pop it up on screen, but I'm going to try to read it bit by bit, piece by piece here. So, of course, hang on and buckle up. It's going to be a decently long one today. This post was by Battlefield Bulletin, and it starts off by saying, Battlefield 6 features a new kind of aim assist system, which is an evolution of what we had in Battlefield 2042. Ripple Effect calls it Aim Assist 2.0. In an interview with Well Played, Matthew Nixon explained how the Aim Assist 2.0 system works in Battlefield 6. We're talking real-time renders now. We move away from squares, boxes, and spheres to capsule-oriented meshes for aim assist. We've really upped the level of consistency and performance across the board. We're going very light with aim assist. We're not adding rotational aim assist. We actually removed a snap zoom, which was in 2042, as we believed it was too mechanically heavy. We want to humanize aim assist, as we call it here internally. At the end of the day, aim assist is there to assist the player, but we need player input to even activate the system. We want the player to feel good about what they're doing in-game, achieving those kills, and they feel like they achieved it, not some system or code that achieved it for them. So that's our differentiating point, and that's our approach when it comes to a design standard of what crossplay is and what crossplay means for Battlefield. We have some really cool, interesting, and unique ideas and implementations that are maybe counterintuitive to what's found in other products out there. But again, aim assist is always a hot topic, no matter what game you pick, whether you're a COD player or an Apex player or whatever. We're really excited about the solution we have, and we're focused on what we feel works best for Battlefield. On the other hand, Ripple Effect has also worked internally on something called Battlefield Triangle, where aim assist is interconnected in all scenarios possible for controller players: infantry versus infantry, infantry versus vehicle, and vehicle versus vehicle. They have their own set of unique parameters, settings, and tunings when it comes to aim assist. So, we have a holistic controller experience, and the first feedback we received was, I don't feel the need to switch to another input anymore. I feel like the controller as a whole, with everything that Battlefield offers, vehicle gameplay, infantry gameplay, whether I'm fighting vehicles or I'm in a vehicle myself, I don't have to switch inputs, and that was a great thing to hear. We want vehicles to maintain power. We don't want to have this auto-aim system where you have a rocket launcher and you're just blowing up tanks left and right. We understand that infantry is the deadliest anti-vehicle counter that exists in the game, and we want to be respectful of that. But we also want to provide some assistance when it comes to certain aspects of vehicle combat. Again, guys, I'm going to leave the link to this overall post down in the description of this video. And there's actually a lot more. I think the person who posted this was Battlefield Bulletin, and they also have a link to the overall article that they saw this from. But I just want to touch upon this because aim assist, to me personally, is a very, very heavy topic within any FPS game. And honestly, it's pretty hard to go ahead and balance it out, in the current day of age where crossplay is almost a mandatory feature across the board when it comes to any game you could possibly think of, especially FPS titles. Beforehand, aim assist wasn't really too heavy. It was pretty simplistic. It helped people, it assisted controller players, but it was never over the top like it is current date within like a game like Call of Duty, for example, where you will be danged if you actually see a PC player in the top brackets of any ranked environment. You'll never see it. I think I've seen maybe like 2, maybe 3 PC players who could really go up and compete with the best of the best. But overall, it's cranked so ridiculously high that it's almost offensive to run mouse and keyboard on a game like Call of Duty. There's actually multiple people who literally ditched, mouse and keyboard on Call of Duty, like Marksman, for example, a demon no matter what input he uses, but he always prefers mouse and keys, but he completely gave it up. There's no reason to go ahead and use such a thing when you could just use the controller and, actually get to the top bracket of the game, right? You don't want to hinder yourself or handicap yourself intentionally, which is sadly how things are going because I think a lot of these publishers are trying to find ways to balance out being able to have PC and controller in the same lobbies, and that is honestly their best solution. But I'll be real, I always thought Battlefield had the best balance between aim assist and, mixing that with the mouse and keyboard players. Battlefield 2042 is the only crossplay game we could ever really experiment with. But I've seen so many ridiculously demonic players on controller who absolutely destroy lobbies, and at the same time, I see plenty of mouse and keyboard players who destroy lobbies as well. And it seems like neither or are really pissed about the topic within Battlefield. Believe it or not, I actually rarely ever hear about aim assist when it comes down to Battlefield, with, I guess, how balanced it actually is. And I think a lot of people were worried that that was going to change moving forward into the future. And I'll be real, the only people who are really defending this are typically people who really need the extra assistance. All the really good controller players that I know personally don't want it very thick because it hinders their experience as well, and it allows people who shouldn't be in the top bracket a little extra boost to their aim compared to, really good hardcore controller players who know how to balance out that aim assist but also have outstanding accuracy on top of it. So, it's not just me complaining about controllers or anything like that, because that's not the case. A lot of controller players feel the exact same way. These publishers are taking it way too far. And with Battlefield 6 being an absolute hit, honestly, let's be real here, a lot of people have it on their radar. I think people were a bit stressed that the aim assist was going to be cranked up a bit because it's going to be a more popular title. They're going to want to try to hold on to as many casuals as possible. And, the best way to do that is to give them extra assistance so they can feel a lot better about themselves when they aim. But I'm so happy to hear that the way the developers are thinking right now is that they want the player to feel rewarded. And that's exactly the whole point. When the game is aiming for you and is doing all the work for you, you don't get that adrenaline rush. You don't get that fix anymore. That fix comes from improving at the game itself, getting better accuracy, and being able to take down multiple different targets off of your own hard-earned skill. And that is the exact direction that it seems these developers are pushing for when it comes to Battlefield 6, And I'm very happy to see that they are continuing on with that mentality, and they're also toning things down just a little bit more when it comes to, how overpowered it might have been, especially since they said, compared to 2042, it's probably going to be less, while at the same time allowing for different unique features like aim assist that's catered to vehicle versus vehicle gameplay, infantry versus infantry gameplay, infantry versus vehicle gameplay. It's cool to hear that they have kind of, I guess, different feels to allow players to have comfortable combat, because that's also a very hard, aspect of Battlefield as well when it comes down to a controller, is the fact that there's so many different ways of going about playing, whether you want to be in a helicopter, a jet, a tank, or just running around as infantry. It all has different feels and different combat situations. And it's good to hear that they are continuing on with this. And of course, they're trying to enhance the experience for controller, but they're not trying to enhance the experience for controller by being lazy. You know what I'm saying? They're actually trying genuinely hard to make it fun to play on a controller by doing things that are realistic, not just saying, okay, we have no clue what to do, so we're just going to ramp aim assist all the way sky high to make things balanced and leave it at that. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the lazy alternative. Absolute laziness. And it's cool to see that the developers over at DICE are trying to push and make sure that the game feels great for everyone across the board. And again, for anybody out there who just doesn't want to verse PC whatsoever, there will be a crossplay on and off feature. So if you just don't want to deal with mouse and keyboard anyways, and this news is the worst thing in the world to you, and you just, you don't know how you're going to be able to play in the open lobbies over on Battlefield 6, you can turn off crossplay still, and you could just verse console or PC versus PC. Again, of course, I'm going to be in the open lobbies as I usually am, but the options are still there, and no matter what experience you're looking for, you'll be able to go ahead and obtain it. But again, the whole reason I want to go ahead and put together this video is to just show appreciation to the dev team, and just acknowledge how outstanding their work is right now, and their direction, their mentality with Battlefield 6, the whole package, even when it comes down to just the aim assist specifically. Their mentality is so on point. Seriously, I have so much hope for Battlefield 6 to do something phenomenal for the FPS genre, and I can't wait to see what else they have in store. Seriously, DICE, you guys are kicking butt. Absolutely. I hope you guys have more details to reveal to everyone before the official launch of the game. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post twice here, actually. Once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time and a second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We post all different types of games, man. Pretty much any single FPS or even third-person shooter that sparks my interest, I try to go ahead and discuss things like Gears, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Arc Raiders, all of the above. So subscribe and hit that bell so you stay notified on everything that goes live. And last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe today, I'm actually not sure what I'm going to play today. I'm kind of split on Gears of War Reloaded or Splitgate 2. I guess we'll find out which game I end up playing. But of course, if you guys are interested in any variety content or you want to see what I'm, playing, keeping up to date with, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.